Hello, and welcome to today's session. I'm excited and very honored to be here to help share Coca-Cola Hellenic's story with you and how they have managed to cut their product launch cycle times by more than 50% with Winshuttle's new product introduction solution. You're going to hear how they have transformed their product launch process in a very short time. So just a couple of introductions and then we'll dive straight in. So I'm Heather Obel and I'm an Enterprise Solutions Manager at Winshuttle. I've been with Winshuttle about 10 years, and prior to that I have a little bit more than 15 years experience with SAP with different implementations and master data process. But recently I've been specifically focused on our new product introduction solution, which is what Georgi is going to share today, and how we've really been able to help CCH make a difference in their product launch processes. So Georgi, do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hello, Heather, and thank you for introducing me. My name is Georgi Nenchev, and I'm Application Manager and Solution Architect with Coca-Cola Hellenic. I've been in Coca-Cola Hellenic for almost 3 years now, and before that I have a background of about 10 years working with SAP, master data, material master data, customer and vendor master data, and as well pricing master data. And recently I've been working with Winshuttle solution to introduce the material domain solutions and customer and vendor solutions. Okay, let me talk a bit more about Coca-Cola Hellenic and our headquarters in Zug, Switzerland. We're operating across 28 countries, and those countries are spread across 3 continents. We have more than 615 million potential customers in those continents, and our brands are growing every day, and we're having more than 200,000 brands across our portfolio. Each year we're introducing new brands and we're launching them across different locations, which is increasing our cases sold, which is around 2.5 billion cases sold annually. Okay. I'm part of our business solutions and systems team in Coca-Cola Hellenic, which is a night service organization responsible for introducing new technologies, establishing centralized processes, and we're implementing automation across all 28 countries in Coca-Cola Hellenic. BSS is a meeting point where we're introducing technology, we're introducing new processes, and we're blending this new mix into a competitive advantage for Coca-Cola Hellenic in the market. This is our proud tradition for more than 15 years now, and we're growing each year with new technologies, and we're introducing something new to the market. Okay, so let me tell you a bit more about myself. So I'm responsible for the application management side and the architectural within the master data area. I'm also responsible for the identity management solutions within Coca-Cola Hellenic, and for those 3 years in the company I'm responsible for replacing the existing solutions with a new Winshuttle platform for the master data area, and the identity management solutions also are being completely redesigned from scratch, and we're introducing a new solution this year. So a bit more about the master data area and material master data. We're having more than 300,000 launches annually, and we had a bit outdated systems that were responsible for the master data management in the material domain, in the customer and vendor domain as well. So this was one of our challenges that we were struggling before. And we have different product lines across the regions and across the different countries as well. So this kind of segregation was also introducing a different challenge for the master data that we need to tackle. That's how our story began with Winshuttle. One of the first challenges we're having is that it took up to 48 days on average to introduce a new product, which can imagine, it's quite slow in introduction of new master data, and this was actually enhanced a bit because we're having 20 different workflow steps. So in order to launch a new product, it took 20 different workflow participants, and this was an average 48 days. And across the 28 countries where we operate, we're using 7 different solutions. So what does this lead us? We're delaying our product launches. That's why we went to the market and we started looking for a solution that's going to reduce our introduction cycle. Our target was to go to 20 days on average to have a new product launch. We want to have a harmonized and centralized process across all 28 countries. And since we're having a quite dynamic business where we're introducing new products quite often, we wanted to modify the solution to serve the business needs and not have the other way around where the business is suffering because we're having a solution that could not be changed easily. And of course, as we are using SAP as our main system, we want to synchronize data with SAP in real life. We want to have a visibility of our end-to-end cycle. This was our target of an ideal solution that would cover those criteria. And through an RFP process, we managed to find Winshuttle. Let me tell you a bit more about our product launch, and I'm going to talk more about particular solution, which is the finished goods solution, where we have reworked completely the workflow and the workflow participants because of the Winshuttle capabilities. So the first step is we're having initiators. We're having a parent-child connection where, depending if you want to extend a material or you want to create a fresh new one, you have a different requesters. We have supply chain or marketing. In case we want to initiate directly our child solutions, or as we call them also supporting objects, we're going directly from the supply chain requester. Then we're defining the project scope, as we say. So we have different countries, we have the different product types, material types as well. And this is something that the requester needs to define for the upcoming participants in the workflow. And after that, we're collecting the centralized material master data. And this is, as we call it, the global data, because this data is applicable across all countries. We're having centralized new process, which is introducing this type of material master data. And in some cases, as said, we can extend to different plants, different sales organizations or warehouses. So those are the different options that we're having with this finished goods solution, which is one solution tailored for different needs. And then we're going to our child solutions where we want to collect the supporting objects, because we need bill of material, which is quite complicated objects with different BAPIs in SAP that needed to be integrated with Winshuttle. However, this was made very easy and very seamless with Winshuttle. We're having a routing which is on different plant levels, and here in some countries we're having hundreds of plants. So this was very important to be real life, getting SAP data and making the latest changes that we're having in SAP available to the requester. So we have accurate master data and clean data, most of all. We have additive costs. We're having production version and cost to collectors, procurement alternative and mixing ratios, and at the end, purchasing for records. So you see we're having quite diverse and different controlling objects which are creating the child solutions, as we call them, in the finished goods. So we're having this complex finished goods parent-child solutions, and this is enabling the product launch to be reduced drastically thanks to the Winshuttle solutions. Let's talk about the user interface and what's the user experience with Winshuttle. We're having a quite unique opportunity to customize our landing page. You can see on the screen, this is a landing page that we created in CCH, and it is available to all the different end users for Winshuttle. we're having supply chain requesters, marketing, distribution, quality, finance, accounting, procurement, planning, and also our internal master data team as well. And from this landing page, they can request access. They can see the different BW reports that we're having on top of Winshuttle, and they can select also what kind of solution they want to have. They can create solutions. So you see, we're having a different create finished goods. We're having spare parts. We're having the child solutions here as well. So everything is accessible from this landing page, and is an easy way to trigger the different solutions. Once we select the solutions, we have a very tailored form for CCH, which the consultants from Winshuttle managed to create according to our requirements, and even introduce something that we didn't anticipate. And those are the different tooltips that we're having. We're having a lot of backend validations which are not visible to the end user, but they're validating live with ACP. We're having a lot of drop-downs which can be easily maintained, so we don't need to build code, or we don't need to make any changes in the backend. We're having helpful tooltips, so in case we're having new colleagues joining the teams, those tooltips are navigating them how to populate easy and fast the data in the form. So this form is quite scalable and easy to be distributed to different colleagues within the teams. And we're having, of course, a very strict validation rules, which are enabling precise master data, having clean master data, and standardized most of all across all 28 countries. One of the main highlights about the solution is, as I said, we're having end-to-end product launch with ACP integrations, full backend integration. We're having one solutions that are across all 28 countries, so we don't have any more centralized solutions. We don't have any more different systems across the countries. We're having one centralized Winshuttle solution. And also we're having very tailored forms, which depending on the roles we're having, have different views, have different validations, have different sub-workflows. And there are a lot of controls that are on very granular level, allowing us to have the master data we deserve and we need to have in CCH. So here are some overall solution stats, and let me point out the things that I haven't already mentioned. So we have more than 500 plants across those 28 countries. We're having 48 plus material types. So this is quite a big portfolio of materials that we managed to introduce to Winshuttle for the short period of 1 year. And we're having more than 2,000 workflow participants. And with such an impressive solution, the results are showing how much we advanced in this one year that since we introduced Winshuttle. So we're moving from 48 days on average to create a new material type to 21 days. So this is 56% reduction across all 28 countries. And even in some countries, we're able to do it for 8 days. So I think this is quite impressive result that we managed to achieve with Winshuttle, and including the change management that needed. One of the other things that has changed drastically is the data quality that we're having. Because of the different validations, now we're having a much improved data quality for the material types that we're supporting by Winshuttle. And we're having a very flexible solutions that are direct integration with multiple ICP systems. So different ERPs we're having with BW and with CRM integration. And we're able to have a more agile launch of the new material types, the new products. And this is something that has been enabled through Winshuttle's solutions. So what are the lessons that we learned for this 1 year since we introduced Winshuttle? Agile is an approach that we can easily use with Winshuttle, and it not just because this is the trend right now that everybody needs to work with an agile approach, but really Winshuttle is a platform that is allowing agile approach to be used for launching different solutions. We're also building a scalable infrastructure setup. This is very important when we're using Winshuttle to understand how many users are going to be using the Winshuttle platform and what kind of infrastructure needs to support this number of users. And here the experts from Winshuttle side, they were guiding us, and thanks to them we got productivity of the system that is absolutely brilliant across all the countries, and it is not slowing down at any point of time. And the other thing is that business should be involved frequently. We're having frequent feedback from our end users. We're having surveys sent over to them to see if anything has changed even during the months of usage of Winshuttle. So not only before and after picture, but it's important to understand also in the upcoming usage, when we're having new users frequently being guided to have access to Winshuttle, what is their experience? Has their experience changed, or what needs to be updated in the system? And because Winshuttle is a system that can be easily adjusted, we're making those changes quite often. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Georgi. It's quite an impressive story you have. A really complex process that you guys have been able to automate, and some really amazing results with over 50% reduction in cycle time. So it's quite the digital transformation story. I thought I would just make a few highlights on the Winshuttle new product introduction solution. So one of the things you saw Georgi point out was that there are a lot of different product launch types, so a lot of different variations in that. And again, that parent-child relationship, or this ability to link sub-processes and dynamically link them, right? So that you can kick off the right necessary objects that are needed for each particular launch type, understanding that each different launch type is often very different. So, you know, you have one overall solution that really handles all of this complexity, right? So whether you're doing a new line extension, maybe seasonal promotional things, or even just like a label change, the solution is going to help you with all of those different launch types and all the detail that's underneath that's needed. And just something else that's really important, I mean, Georgi's also mentioned how flexible the tool is. So we have a very modular approach, and this really helps you to start with the data objects that you need to start with now and what makes sense for your business, but then be able to expand over time. I know Georgi and them are already talking about adding on and doing other things. And then I think it was clear, or Georgi mentioned this earlier too, about being able to support different organization structure types, right? So if you have some data that's centralized and other data that's decentralized within the same process, the tool can really help support that. So overall, it really helps with very complex processes like this, and processes with large volume. So if you want to see more, there is a actual demo of the solution on the Winshuttle.com website there /MPI. So feel free to go there if you want to see things in action in a bit. And if you have any other questions, we'd love to talk to you about how maybe we can help you reduce your product launch types. So thank you very much for your time and listening, and hope you enjoyed the session. And thank you, Georgi. Really appreciate you coming and sharing the story. It's a wonderful results.
Thank you, Heather. It was a pleasure, and good luck with everybody using Winshuttle. Thank you.
Thanks.